Hey, welcome to the Street Shots Photography Podcast. This is Antonio.
And this is Ward.
And this is episode 254 for the middle of May, 2026.
Middle of May. What's birthdays in my household in May? Anyway,
well,
254. 254. It's we're talking Texas in terms of area
Texas.
Codes.
Waco.
Central Texas, including such cities as Waco, Killeen, sorry kids, Temple, Copperas Cove, and Belton. I've actually been to 3 of those 5 places.
Really? What brought you there?
Work. Yeah, that was just, with the computers, they go out to where the customers work, and it was fun. And
did you drive there? Or you
fly into one of the major centers, Houston or Dallas, and then you take the rental car out, you do your thing.
I was thinking you might have driven from up north down.
No, I would love to do that, but no, there's,
Okay. All right. That would be some drive. Yeah. It was something. So, so middle of May, 2026. Maybe I should tell people what we're doing.
What are we doing? Antonio, what are we doing?
Well, we're going to incorporate video into this podcast because everybody seems to do it. People want to watch podcasts. Which I don't understand.
Okay.
Sure.
I said I did put some makeup on, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, I could tell.
Ready. I'm not ready.
I know. So, I would consider this housekeeping a little bit, right? Let's do that. So,
okay.
We were using a system called Squadcast before with other podcasts, and that would let us have video so we could see each other. And I could record the video if I wanted, which I did because I got a million videos of us. But we would use it to give out addresses to our guests and stuff like that. And it just helps us so that we can see each other, and we're not using Zoom. But I just switched to Riverside, which some people may have heard of before, but it's a lot of podcasts are being produced with Riverside, and it's got a lot of the same things as Squadcast, but it's a little more in depth. There's some nice editing tools for editing video and audio tools as well. And
cool.
I thought we would try to, all of our podcasts go up on YouTube as just audio streams.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have it naturally going up there. So, which we don't get a lot of views, quote unquote, because who listens?
It's usually me, actually. I always go back and watch them. I just put it on my TV upstairs when I'm doing dishes or something, and I want to play back an old episode or something.
That's cool. It's nice to know. Yeah, but we thought we would begin to explore what it's like to do video podcast. So we're recording this as we're recording this. Hold on. Someone wants to be on camera.
We got a third participant.
Yes, this one.
Yes,
because he's going to use his nails to stick into me if he doesn't get up here. Anyway, we thought we would begin the process of recording video while we're doing this podcast. But that does mean there's some issues with that, because if we start showing things, if we start making this a video only podcast, or not video only, but if we start talking about things and showing things, people who are listening to this on their headphones are going to be kind of annoyed. So we'll figure something out how to really incorporate video, because I think maybe one of the things you and I were talking about was doing like maybe book reviews or talking or going through, not book review, like reviewing it like good or bad. I thought one of us would be able to, show a book and we could talk through it and make that maybe an additional part of this Street Shots production in general, So we would continue doing our podcast audio. We would record ourselves while we're doing the podcast audio, maybe also eventually have maybe separate video where we're talking, doing a book review or something like that. Maybe put it on Substack or something,
That's I don't know. Idea.
Yeah, we'll have to figure this out. But I thought if we're going to put this up on YouTube anyway, it might as well be pictures of us, because if people, maybe we'll get a little bit of an audience of people watching us, seeing a couple of dad photographers talking about photography and an orange cat who pops up on the screen now and then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't cost anything extra. Well, I mean, it does cost something. I mean, I had to pay for the subscription. to Riverside. So not a big deal.
Sounds like it'll be
I was paying for
interesting.
Squadcast.
Right.
Yeah, I was paying for Squadcast anyway. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying things. I don't know. They're getting more involved, let's say.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. And if anybody's got feedback and stuff, we're happy to hear it, you know.
Yeah.
But right now I'm trying to do as low energy production. I'm not putting up flashy screens or whatnot. I don't know how to incorporate music into the video podcast yet, like our audio one, but we'll see how we do that. Maybe I'll just put us up, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being said, how's been your couple of weeks?
Well, we actually have a spring now, and
congratulations!
all the snow is gone, and
there was much rejoicing.
There was much rejoicing, yes. And now we've gone from winter to construction season. So
construction,
road construction everywhere.
Oh, do you have all the cones out everywhere?
There's cones, there's poles, there's detours, there's trucks, there's angry people. All of the richness.
How can there be angry people
splendor
in Canada? I don't believe that. I don't believe angry people.
These are the people who fight in those hockey games. That's
well, that's what. Yeah, okay.
So, but anyway, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Let's see. Last weekend I went home for my mother's 85th birthday, which was
congratulations
pretty
to her.
nice.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Ward's
Mom. Happy birthday, Ward's mom. And so, the whole idea, well, not the whole idea, was I thought I'd just bring my camera gear. I'll bring my camera gear everywhere anyway. But
right.
I just thought I'd laze around, take some pictures of whatever's happening, and didn't put a lot of effort into it. And I'm looking at my Lightroom catalog, and what a true statement that was. I got basically nothing interesting out of that project. You want to put your...
Right, you talked about it. You talked about it last show, right? You were going to do that.
I was going to do that. Yeah, I was like, maybe there'll be something to talk about on the... Yeah, we can talk about how bad the pictures are. I did get pictures of a puppy. My niece has a new dog, and so there was that, but other than that, it's just sitting up on my laptop upstairs, just waiting to be edited. And I just looked through them and going, wow, there's not a lot of hits here. So
maybe your mom appreciated that she was seeing you without a camera in front of your face.
Well, maybe there
on her birthday.
That. Also, too, I have this, it was in my mother's garage. It's a huge, almost like a farmhouse shop. Like a an agricultural shop, where it's this huge, it's a 40-foot by 40-foot building, right? So we had picnic table and barbecue and all that kind of stuff, and it's quite dark in there. And you think I'd remember to take the flash out, that lovely Godox flash?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't be bothered because I wasn't really even paying attention. So there was, I could have, what little there was, I probably could have jacked up a little bit by using the flash, but it didn't happen. Anyway, lessons learned. I'm rusty anyway because I haven't really been doing much shooting except with the iPhone on my walks and so on. But yeah, that was my last weekend, and and, yeah, it's been good. Work's been good. Things are good. Kind of a spring funk. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
So
join the club. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Antonio? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been talking about a funk, but a couple, what was it? Last weekend. We're recording on Monday. So the weekend just passed was Mother's Day. The weekend before that, we were at Angie's son's wedding in a place called Mahoney Park.
Okay.
State Park. Really cool place, really nice place. But a lot of work went into the wedding. So prior to that, between shows, it was just wedding, getting stuff ready and buying stuff and coordinating and all that stuff. And when the wedding day came, we were staying in a cabin, quote unquote. It was not a log cabin. It's just like a big house in the state park so that everybody could stage there. So we were there for a few days. And I brought my drone, thought I would be able to get drone shots of the venue. But then, of course, I'm smart enough to realize I should probably read the rules of the park.
Right.
The rules of the park says No drone unless you have a special permit. So
Okay.
the drone stayed in the bag, which is fine. It was just another thing. I was tasked to do the streaming to YouTube that would end up in New Zealand for family members to watch for the live. That was I used my phone for the streaming. It seemed like the best device at the time to stream with. And I brought my cameras with me, but I wasn't tasked to be the photographer. It's fun to be a guest and then bring my, take pictures on my own. But I did bring my little Godox flash, and I did take it out of my bag.
You win.
Sorry, but I also have the little transmitter. I did off-camera flash.
Cool.
With it. It was a nice way to practice that, and I was very happy with the results. I was using a 16 millimeter on my Fuji X-E5, which I'm beginning to fall in love with. This is a very favorite camera, by the way. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's unrequited love.
You're another one who wants to wring my neck. Yeah.
No, I'm just, it's unrequited love. It's not jealousy. There's,
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. There's another one who's got jealousy because I think he wanted to buy them and they were out. They were out of
No, they're
stock.
still in stock here. So I could pull the trigger at any time, but I'm not going to.
It was a great camera for that. Once I figured out the flash settings, but doing off camera flash like that and not having a cord, so you can just move the flash wherever. I could probably even give the flash to someone else and say, here, just point it at them and do it like a side angle or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more creative potentials of that. And frankly, I was inspired, or maybe re-inspired, I think, with our talk with Gavin, because he was talking about using off-camera flash for his stuff. And I thought, that's a nice thing to investigate. So anyway, I didn't do a lot of pictures of the wedding, but I got some good shots of the couple.
Good.
Some fun faces. And we were using an app, a web-based app that lets people upload through a QR code, and then the picture starts showing up on screen.
Okay.
So it was great. It's actually, that's pretty fun to be able to see the pictures that people are taking of the wedding immediately up on the screen, and everybody's sort of mesmerized by it.
Yeah. That's cool.
I thought it was a bit of a gimmick, but I thought it was fine. So what else? I will be teaching at the Southeast Community College. Starting, I think I might have mentioned this, but I finally got my
the
classes
plans were in the work. Yeah.
Yeah, well, my class for July is set. So July 15th for 6 weeks, called The Narrative Lens, which is nice. It's going to be a progressive class where I think at the end of the class, we will have people have I don't know, we're going to have a show, but people will have worked on a project. But everything throughout the class will lead up to that. So there'll be, a bit more like an introductory photography class, but it'll be 6 classes. So, which is nice. It's really nice to be able to stretch what I want to teach out in 6 classes rather than 1 3-hour class.
Right. Yeah.
And I like the idea. I love the idea, of course, having people go away and do an assignment based on what they learned, depth of field, shutter speeds, stuff like that, So I'm hoping I get a lot of signups for that. But then I'll be teaching that same class in the fall. And what else will I be teaching in the fall? The zine class. I'm going to do a 3-session zine class, which I haven't set up yet. Not a problem. I mean, because the zine class I was teaching in New York was also it was a 3-hour class. And again, it's a lot to squeeze into one class. And I like the idea of stretching it out so that people can create a narrative in their zines and stuff. And so I think that won't be a problem. And there was one more. There was 2 more. I'm going to actually teach fountain pens, the allure of fountain pens.
Cool.
So I
that's
like that.
part of this course, or this is like a one-off?
No. These are different classes. It's a continuing ed school. Or
Yeah.
I mean, at least the program I'm part of.
Right.
And there was one more.
Podcasting?
I can't remember. Oh no, it was a 3-part. It was a 3-part. A 2-part class, a Saturday class, which is. I don't know if you remember, I taught a class when I got here at a church. It was a 2-part class, and I called it The Art of Noticing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, I remember you had posted pictures on our Discord group of
yes,
some of the real successes your students had. Yeah.
Yes. I will be doing that. So it's kind of like a photography light. That's for any person with a camera. My other classes will really be for DSLR and mirrorless classes, but this is for anybody with a camera. And I think it's a nice taster for like a 2 weekend, two Saturdays, I think. So it will be also, they go away with an assignment. So I'm really happy. Like, this is a place that has, like, they don't know me from Adam in some way, and they've given me 5 classes. So I'm very grateful for that. So, and I'm really looking forward to the one in July. Although I imagine here in July, it's going to be really hot, but at least we'll be in a classroom.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to putting my class chops back on,
Nice.
Getting in front of some people and just letting loose with photo knowledge. So, yeah. So that's it. That's all that happened. I've been knocked out for 5 days with allergies. So I think it's an allergy. I hope it was an allergy, but I feel better now. So
Good.
yeah.
Good.
But yeah, we were talking about funk. It's like, wow, you get put into like, do I want to really carry a camera?
Yeah.
I didn't even do any writing in the past 5 days. I was just at the coffee shop this morning, and I was like, wow, last time I wrote was last Thursday. So I've written for 5 days, which is unusual for me. I usually like to, take out my journal and write a few. I had no energy to do that. So, but
I forgot to mention, I made an order in the UK for 3 more Cafe Royal Press zines.
Oh yeah, which
there was one called The Passengers, which was about mostly youth on New York City subway from late 60s to mid 70s or 70s to 80s. All black and white, very gritty kind of thing. What interests me about the pictures, they were taken like wide angle, and the subjects are like the subway cars seem empty, and then just 1 or 2 or 3 people in the middle of the frame. Very interesting way to shoot. And there was one on North Korea. That was Nick Danziger, who's a fairly well-known, I think he's National Geographic. He's got lots of credentials, and he did 2 visits to North Korea, 2013, 2017. And there were his pictures of the strangeness and angularness of life in North Korea. And then there was one that was just essentially New York City street from what was the 70s as well, 70s to 80s, or was it more recent? It was more recent than that. And his John Heseltine, I think is his name, kind of vibrant color of life on the street in New York. It was really, really good. Really, really kind of brought a feeling for the city that I appreciated. And I did send you some pictures on the Discord as well.
Yeah. You do realize that those, the 70s is not New York now. I mean, it's
no.
I mean, you've seen New York now, pretty much,
yeah.
and it's a marked difference from that. Like the subways being empty, I was thinking the reason why the subways are probably empty is because no one wanted to ride them because they were so dangerous back then. I remember seeing. You showed me some of the pictures, and some of them were showing people coming back from Coney Island, because a lot of people would take the trains all the way to Coney Island. And so people were wearing bathing suits, or they looked like they were coming back from the beach, at least some of the shots.
I see. So, okay. I didn't get that. I thought just, kids they're like 12, 13, 14 years old, dressed in like, flip-flops and bathing suits and stuff. I thought maybe it was just summer, but
no, first of all, those subway cars were not air conditioned back then. So imagine that in New York when temperatures are hitting 104 in the summer, and the subways are hotter because they're blowing out heat from the
motors
below the subway. The motors. But those were interesting shots. The North Korea one really is interesting to me. Did he have any words or descriptions about how he got the pictures, or
no? It's just the pictures that I sent you was just the only text was the publishing info that's on the front cover, and it's just
I see.
No, it was just here's what happens. So no, I thought they're very fascinating. I'm proud of myself for making good selections. Okay, that's Craig Atkinson is the publisher, founder of Cafe Royal Press, and
Yeah.
it's a really big resource he has there, and I'm happy as a photographic community to have. Maybe we should see if we can get him on the show. I think he'd be fascinating.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah. What I liked about that was that they're so relatively inexpensive. I mean, like $8 or $10 a zine or something like that.
I think they're £6. I think they're £6 a zine, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. And I mean, they're pretty much the same size as my zine. I mean, that's an inspiration for my zine. Those guys, those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
cool.
really good.
Well, now that you said that, you just reminded me that I picked up another book on Walker Evans.
Walker Evans.
A brand new book. It's behind me and I got opiate on my wrist. I can't pick up the book and show you. Yeah, I'm paralyzed by Kitty.
Cat paralysis.
It's a book. It's just called Walker Evans, and it's written by David Campany. He seems to write almost exclusively about Walker Evans.
Okay. Well, he does lots of forwards to books and stuff like that. He's a good critic.
Yeah,
he's a good
No, he's good.
Positive force, I think, in photo books, for sure.
Yeah, but he's definitely got a thing for Walker. So,
so do I think. I was gonna say, because when you said this, you sent the picture. Look what I got. Look what came in the mail. And I said, "Oh, you and your Walker Evans." And okay. No,
he's no. I mean, I must have, as a kid, seen his work someplace, or it must have been in school or something like that. That just made an impression. Also, knowing that he had spent so much time in New York, you know. So, but anyway, it's a nice fat book. There's some good essays in it. I just started reading through it, and it does cover a lot of his work. I wouldn't call it comprehensive, but it goes through all of his FSA work. And what's nice is they even have the pictures that he did for, I can't remember what museum it was, but he was photographing African art. I don't know if it's prehistoric African art, but as a catalog, of the art itself, of the artifacts of this, whatever they were. But the photographs themselves of these artifacts are beautiful. That idea of photographing artwork, even as just a catalog of it, and making beautiful imagery from it is really interesting. He also had these pictures of, I think he did it for Fortune magazine, because he was a photo editor for Fortune, I think, for 20 years, 2 decades.
Yeah.
But
he was working for Fortune when he did Now Let Us Praise.
Yes.
What is it?
Now Let Us Praise Famous Men.
Famous Men. Thank you.
Yes. He did. Well, he also did I think he did something like 40 or something photo stories for them. So anyway, he had a bunch of photographs of tools. Oh. And I think there was an essay of tools. So it's like pliers and hammers. And I think the story was about this manual labor stuff, which should come back now, because we don't have people who want to get involved in manual labor. Everybody wants to be a content creator. So do I. Here we are.
Yeah, here we are
making content. I'm not using any tools here.
I changed the tires on my wife's SUV yesterday. Does that count?
Well, that does count. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I raked leaves today.
Well,
that count for something?
Credit
I used
a
rake.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're at one
Angie
with
did much
nature.
more. Angie did much more work than I did. She cleaned the gutters of the house. And anyway, I was raking leaves and then my back started to hurt, but I did a good job.
So go back to the Walker Evans book and you'll smarten right up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it did make me think, actually, maybe I can parse this out with you here on the show. I don't know if it'd be that interesting. But
you're really selling it.
What?
I said, you're really selling it. Come on. Let's go. Cage match.
Cage match.
So
I've been thinking, well, anyway, what I thought about for my 6-week class of photography would be to include Walker Evans as part of that class, and how to do that. Like what I meant was, what I told you was having him sort of like a ghost student, sort of be like, let's follow his progress through each of the classes, the 6 weeks of the classes. As somebody who was sort of there at, I would call it the beginning of photography, but he was a photographer who was very versatile, who, portraits and architecture, even some landscape things he would shoot, especially out in the Dust Bowl, and I said architecture already, but still life, he's crossed the gamut, and I thought, I wonder if showing students a progression of his work and somehow introducing him to the students as someone who had a lot fewer tools to work with, but did so much. And I wasn't sure how to incorporate it. And I wasn't sure if also, I've got this, I'm a fanboy. So I'm like, ooh, I'd love to turn people on to Walker Evans. So I wasn't sure whether or not that would be sort of a distraction. I wouldn't spend too much time on it. It would either, I don't know if I'd begin the class with him or end the towards the end of the class, talk about him. But do you get what I'm trying to say? And he would sort of be the connection through all the classes. And by the end of the class, in the sessions where we would do the projects, and we would show the projects, maybe I would find some project that he did, maybe find the pictures that he had in the MoMA show or something like that that he had earlier on. I don't know, but
the way I look at it is I'm a huge fan of the history of photography, and with Antonio's course, you also get, along with the lesson plan that you're going through, we're going to also see what Walker Evans was about and how he handled different subjects and his personal philosophy of things, and do it through the lens of him with much less sophisticated equipment and the context that he worked in. I think it's great.
Yeah.
For me, the history part of it is the best, because
I have that sort of, I don't know, I'd like to slip in history. Well, I'm going to slip in some history, of course, all the time. But I like to get people interested in that in some way. And I thought maybe by following one photographer in history might be better than swamping them with so many other photographers, or not including them at all. You know what I mean? Not including any history. I thought that might be a unique way to do it. And especially someone like him who, the things that he's photographing, maybe we can talk about this tonight in the show a little bit.
Sure.
Is, he's certainly not someone who was, and I'm sure there's a lot of other photographers like this, who are not going for the hero photograph, right?
No.
And I get the feeling these days, and there might be with the students who come into class, they're being inundated with hero photography. If everybody's introduction to photography is through Instagram or something, or Flickr, you're looking at the top pictures, but how many pictures can you look at of sun rays coming through the leaves of a tree, and I would imagine that a beginning photographer, if that is what they're seeing all the time before they start picking up the camera to do their own work, I would think you would get discouraged, because you're walking around the streets of Lincoln, Nebraska, and you see a tree and you see a curb and a chair and a couple of houses, and you don't see, godlight coming through the sky every day, or, and so someone like Evans, and you could probably name a whole bunch of other people too, because you're better at remembering these guys. People who are not making pictures of very exciting things on a day-to-day basis, and yet are very, I would say Walker Evans' work is still influential to us today as what we're doing as photographers. And so, I don't know, what do you say to that? What's your...
Well, I'm just stepping back a little bit. I'm thinking that, and part of the historical aspect of what you're doing is making students feel that their photography is contributing to something, a greater whole, and not just they're by themselves out there trying to figure things out. Walker Evans took pictures of ads painted on the sides of buildings, and it would, I'm sure the locals didn't why are you taking pictures of just these businesses that are just plastered with signs and things. Maybe they thought it was an eyesore or something like that, but Evans knew that he was documenting the time and place that he was. And so we look back at those Evans pictures and like, oh, man, this is, it's cool to see that old car sitting there being gassed up, and, the different ads and so on of, some businesses are still in business. Some oil company might still be in business, and all this other mom and pop, whatever, are long gone. I just like the idea of, at least at first, your students getting an impression that what they're doing is part of something bigger. I think that's important. And then the whole idea of creativity, different modes of creativity within photography.
Right.
You want to call them genres, your still life, like the artifacts projects, his photojournalistic kind of work, his plain documentary work, the kind of partly environmental, but also activist photography and FSA. They all have their different qualities to them, and not just the history of photography, but the history of your country too, right? Like this is you're feeding them that, and you're like, this stuff, maybe dig up a couple of pictures from your neighborhood, like if Walker Evans went through Lincoln, and then you're just in Nebraska at all, like there's some like he was here, he took these pictures. I mean, just making it real for folks, I think is great.
I think the idea also, I want to say deprogramming people, and I don't know what stages the students will be at when they come to the class, but that idea of pulling them back from this thing that you have to go out every day and you have to create the best picture that you possibly can every day. And it's got to be the sunset that beats every sunset that you've done before, or but one of the topics I was looking at for the Tonight Show, the tyranny of the interesting subject. We were talking about the tyranny of the shoulds too before, right?
Yeah.
Wait, that was in our Substack.
That was your article on Substack. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still like that everything has to be this polished, beautiful thing, and I find, frankly, that those are more often the pictures that I forget, because there's so many of them.
You look at it and you go, I get it. And then you move on.
Right. There's nothing to think about in a photograph like that. There's a photographer in New York, and I won't mention his name, and I can't remember his name, but I won't mention it. I did give it away by saying him, sorry, but he goes around and photographs in New York. He must have the app that tells you when the moon is going to be at this angle at this time and whatnot. He probably has a 1200 millimeter lens, and he's photographing like the moon at the top of the Empire State Building, right? Centered, perfect. Or the sunrise just down, Manhattan Henge, or whatever. But every shot, every single shot is perfection. Is a good photographer. He spends a lot of energy on it. I've seen pictures of him hardworking photographer, and the photography is great. And it's one of those things when I'm going through his Instagram feed, I'm like. And at a certain point, I'm like, I'm done. I can't look at these anymore, because every single one is not a challenge to me. Right? Everything's presented to me. It's a perfect picture, and I get the sense that a lot of people are programmed into thinking that that's how we need to present photography. And I would like to sort of dial that back a little bit. And it'd be okay. Like, people be okay with it, not say, why am I taking a boring picture of an ice cream stand? Well, it's a little bit more than that, But any tips for what I can do?
Well, examples of things that support your argument. I mean, that's where I would start, and then you'll get a feel for the students pretty much right away by what questions they ask and so on. I think, I did do a 4-week. This is like in the early 90s, just before I shut my darkroom down. I did a community college thing for the city Department of Parks and Rec, and it was just photographic theory, really, and people really dug it. They really got into it. There's color and form and whatever.
You were teaching it?
Just I was teaching it. Yeah, yeah. It was a friend of a friend, and they needed a photography course in this, this rec center that was on the east side of town. I'm like, oh, this is a real opportunity. No, I didn't do it again, but I did find it worthwhile at the time. And I just found people really engaged. They really wanted to know. And it was not about the point of it, we didn't really talk much about how to take better pictures. It was more about the theory of what you're seeing when you look through the camera. And they were all ages too. And they really got into it. So now this is 92. This is pre-digital. So maybe things are a little different now and we've got the social media and everything. But I really think people want to know what some of the theory is about what they're doing. And I think and I hope that's what you're going to experience. I mean, people are paying for the course to go there. And so I think they're going to, I think they'll be open to what your material is. And I know it's great. I mean, I've seen some of your stuff before, and even the outline that you sent me. It's like, I'm in. Can I come? Give me an assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, given that we've both had sort of low energy in the past couple of weeks,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't really gone out and taken a lot of pictures of anything. I've made any trips. Let me think about this for a second. No, I haven't gone anywhere. I mean, we went to go see the Sandhill Cranes a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I mentioned it in the show. All my pictures were out of focus.
Problems.
Yeah. But like yesterday, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. I can't remember. Since I was cooped up in the house, I threw on the big lens and I filled up the bird feeders with seed, and I just decided to photograph, from the deck and photograph a bunch of birds that were hanging out. And if anything, it gave me
You said deck. You didn't say terrace. You're becoming a prairie person. Look at you. Look at you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I derailed you completely.
Good notice. I'm glad you noticed that.
I'm watching.
Good,
so this is great. So I did that once. When I first got my 70-200 on my 7D, that was fun. So how did it go?
Well, that was great. I mean, the pictures look great. First of all, my lens is not broken, so all the pictures were nice and sharp. And it, being cooped up in the house a little bit because I just don't feel like going outside and breathing a bunch of, pollen or whatever is going on in the air.
Yeah.
Trying to find things to photograph here in the house sometimes, or even just out like on the deck is okay. Wasn't too bad out there, is a real challenge, and I think we've talked about this a million times. Like, wow, you really want to challenge yourself in photography. Try to photograph what's, within a square block of where you live. That is hard. That is really hard. And yet there is something for me fulfilling about it, because I look at the pictures that I shot and I call it, backyard safari. And I threw them up there's two Facebook groups that I'm part of. One is Nebraska uncensored through the lens, and uncensored. I don't think it means what you think it is. It's just
sounds a little bit racy, but okay.
Yeah, it's not. I might not be getting the name of the group right off the top of my head. And there's another one just for the local area, for the neighborhood. This is called Indian Village, where we live. And so I posted the pictures in both groups, and they were getting a nice response. Now, again, I wasn't photographing it for them. It's just like, hey, actually, for the local group, I was saying, and people post pictures of birds and other creatures walking around, and it's just like, hey, look at how beautiful our neighborhood is. Look at what's around us and just in the backyard. And the Nebraska group is like, hey, look at the kind of flora and fauna we have in this state. And I'm learning a lot actually on my own. I'm learning a lot of cool places to go photograph from people in that group, because they're doing all over Nebraska. But the other thing was, what did I do? The other day I found, we had talked about this with our brother in light, Dave Swiduk, who had been using ChatGPT, or I can't remember what AI he was using, to feed in images to be able to get film simulations.
Or have it create a recipe based on the tonal palette of the picture.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. And so, until he told us about that, I would have never thought to do that. Mm-hmm. And with each generation of I'm using ChatGPT mostly for that, but each generation seems to be getting better at reading imagery, And so I found a picture that popped up in my feed, and I love the color palette of it. And so I screenshot it and fed it into ChatGPT. Someone's going to say, you shouldn't do that as copyright. Yeah, I get it. But that being said, I said, can you create a film simulation based on this picture? And it gave me the numbers, and I just copied them exactly into my Fuji camera, and I shot with it, and I really love the color. I tweaked it a little bit it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I tweaked it a bit. And again, this is what I was doing cooped up. I went into the backyard. We have a local cat who hangs out on our deck a lot. I even have a little house, 2 houses for him. I have a summer house and a winter house for him. I think it's a him. We're not sure. He is a she, or it's a,
yeah. Stray cat. That's
stray cat. Yeah. We call him Charlie. Anyway, I was using this I think it was yesterday. I was doing walking around, and he was walking around the grass, and I was photographing him using this color simulation that I've got in the camera, and the pictures are really nice, And so it was also just a matter of changing my color palette that all of a sudden I began to see my very local, my house and my backyard as something else, as some other place, And so, I'm not sure how to put this. I mean, like, how do we get that into that experience to people who are just coming into photography? Like, I'm not sure where I'm going with that. So help me out.
What I would is put it back on them. Say, here's what I've discovered. Let's think about this and talk about this for a second. What do you think you could do where you live? You're in this small apartment in downtown or whatever. Where are some places that are interesting you could go when you go out for lunch? Where's some possibilities? Is there a fountain in the town square that you could maybe shoot? Is there are there birds or some, there's really aggressive sparrows seem to be in every town that I've been.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I always call sparrows are good practice birds.
Yeah. Because they're
everywhere, and they're just.
Those pictures I took 10 years ago on our deck, they were sparrows, and if you can catch one mid-flutter, just to shape that round shape of the wing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll see if I can't dig those up and show them to him. Like, I was pretty proud of that. And they were just sparrows. So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, just, I would say get your students to start thinking about what they can find in their environment. Instead of just getting in the signers, dictating in the sign.
Well, how good are you at doing that? I mean, I know you showed me just the other day. Did we use your picture of the sofa from the last episode? Did I use that for the thumbnail?
I don't know if we
like that was just
thumbnail. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did. Right. Yeah. I mean, that was just in your.
I'm watching
your
TV. Yeah, I was just watching TV. I shot it. I didn't even get up from where I was sitting. I was just like, adjust the exposure a little bit. Oh, soft tones. All right, hold steady. That was it. That was,
I mean, how often do you do that? How often do you
do it all the time?
Home? Yeah,
I do it all the time.
Do you show the pictures?
Not really. No, I've got a few, but. Or certain times of the year, like this time of year and in midsummer when we get reflections and the sun's streaming in windows and leaving patterns on, hallway floors or onto, mirrors in our front hallway, or there's always something interesting, some kind of graphical appeal. Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was finding that I might have mentioned this once before, but did you ever watch the show Deadwood?
No, I didn't. Series? I caught it every now and then.
Oh, you've got to watch that show.
All right.
I don't know how you're going to get it. You have to watch it. I think you would like it.
So
But
Patrick
one of the
McGowan
things
is the
who?
he's the
No, not
English
Patrick
guy.
McGowan.
Yeah,
Ian
Ian McShane. Sorry, I get them all
Ian
mixed up.
McShane.
Ian McShane.
Patrick McGowan's Brits.
I loved there was yeah, all the secret agent guys from the 60s, you know, I can't they all mashed together. I did watch one scene where there was a celebration and Ian McShane's character, whose name escapes me, said, "Well, we have to have something to celebrate this. Let's get a tin of canned peaches." And that's what they did. And I was like, you know what? That would probably be it. You could have peaches, you know, out of season, and you can celebrate this, whatever the heck it was they were celebrating. I thought, wow, this is like, okay, this is realistic.
That being said, yeah, okay. Okay, yes, you have to watch the show.
So what about
No,
Deadwood?
I was gonna say there's a type of lighting that they do in the show.
Oh, okay.
Which is, and I may have mentioned this a million times previously, but I'm still stuck on this. The sun comes in at an angle into the windows and it bounces off the floor and it angles into an inner room, like that's further away from the windows.
Okay.
So you might have a 2-room hotel room and one room is closer to the windows and the other room is behind it, right? But the rooms are open, right? They're maybe separated by some open doors or some screens or something like that. But the light is coming in because there's nothing blocking it from the outside. It's angling down. It's hitting the wood floor. The wood floor is probably polished a little bit or something, bouncing back up. And they are filming the actors in the second room. So they're being lit from underneath, right?
Wow.
From this slightly diffused, reflected bounce light. First of all, I don't know where I've fallen in love with that kind of light, but somewhere in my history, I've seen that light. And so when I watched that show and they're doing that, I was like, you know, someone was paying attention to how light dances around in a room. And again, I don't think the people who built the hotel back in the 1870s thought about like light bouncing around, but it's just sort of an artifact from that. But they do that successfully. They film that a lot. There's a lot of those scenes in there. Anyway, the sun now comes into one of the windows in our house and it bounces off the floor and then it hits into another room. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is the Deadwood light. So I take my camera with my new film simulation and I'm actually trying to do selfies with my Fuji X-E5, which is not easy to do, but depending on the lens, I couldn't quite get it. But I'm trying to test the color on my skin tones and stuff like that with this light. It's not the best, actually. It's not the best film simulation with sunlight or even reflected sunlight. It's actually better with overcast. Cloudy. Yeah, it's actually really nice with that. But I found myself like, this was really interesting. Like I was thinking, how many times am I taking selfies of, you know, doing selfies just to test something out to like, I'm not doing it because I want to take a picture of myself and I'm, you know, the pictures aren't great, but they're not bad, you know? And sometimes even I was setting up a tripod and then going outside and doing some self timer thing so I could see, because I didn't have anybody to shoot. I was trying to get some skin tone record on this film simulation and so I could tweak it. So I had to use myself as a model, you know, and even that was a fun experience. In fact, it was one of the things I probably want to teach the class or tell the classes to do self-portraits. I mean, I have to figure out where to put that in and not selfies, like so they can understand the difference. Like what's a self-portrait? Because in the Walker Evans book, the first few pictures are self-portraits of him. These silhouettes against a window. They're really nice. They're wonderful photographs, you know, but there's like the ultimate thing. I'm stuck in my house. What am I going to take a picture of? Me, you know, but can I make an interesting picture of me? That's not something, you know, that I would necessarily put on Instagram, but just something that would be, that I feel good about. And in this case, I'm testing out a film simulation.
I really like, because you did send along the one's self-portrait, the way it handles green. It's sort of like my 70s childhood. That's what I'm getting out of it. It's like, I don't know what this green is. It's got a little bit more blue or something. It's just more, not melancholy and not nostalgic.
There is a little bit of melancholy. And I photographed Opie sleeping on a ottoman the other day too, and the light that was coming in is northern light, so it's very soft coming in. And I'm looking at it and realizing it really does have. I can't describe there's almost no words for the feeling in the picture, and it's just my cat.
Yeah,
he's just sitting there on the thing. Of course, it's the camera and the lens that's interpreting. I'm using a TT Artisans 35 millimeter 1.4. So I'm getting a really shallow depth of field, and that's all adding to it's adding to, I would say, the flavor. It's adding to the mood, overall ambiance, feeling and the mood, but it's echoing what I'm seeing in a sense, even though it's not echoing what reality is, because it's color simulation with a shallow depth of field lens. That's not what my eye is seeing, but it's reflecting the feeling. And when I looked at the pictures, I was like, wow, these are just me photographing in my living room, and they're hitting marks that if I had gone someplace far away, I don't think I could have duplicated the same kind of feelings, So there is something to be said for photographing the things that you know, because you know them, or you're closer to them, and you know your house, you know where you live, and you know how you feel about them, more than if you went, flew out to Paris to photograph the Eiffel Tower with all the lights and you get that one spectacular shot. I have no idea where I'm going with this. So.
No, it was just, but creating a mood, like doing this, it's another angle on creativity. I really love the whole idea of these film recipes, but I want to do some black and white film recipes, actually.
Yeah, what
but
for?
I haven't. Just simulate certain kinds of grain-filled Tri-X, make something really look like Tri-X.
And what do you want to photograph with it? What is it you want to photograph with it?
No, just anything.
Well, what would you? I mean, if you were walking around with a film camera and you wanted to stick Tri-X in, what would you be looking for?
Downtown architecture, probably.
Yeah,
or homes, or go out to a small town or a ghost town or something.
In bright sun or overcast?
Sure, both. It doesn't matter, whatever day it's with Tri-X. I'm saying Tri-X gets blocked up if it gets too bright, so I could, I would treat it as if it were really Tri-X,
All right. And then, because I'm curious what you would do with this if it was an actual film stock. Like, what would you be doing? Because it's not going to work in certain circumstances, so you're going to use it in these, at least for you. In these circumstances, you can use it for architecture under certain kind of lighting conditions.
Yeah, back alleys, downtown. Like I'm thinking of places I could go right now that might work.
Yeah.
So if I can just dial up the grain a little bit and make it like it was 35 millimeter Tri-X, and some of the finer details might get smushed out. Or doing night pictures like P3200. Make that, because I remember doing some night shooting. I remember we had the New Year's Eve festival. They used to call it First Night, or Last Night, First Night. I think the last one was like 1993. Anyway, I had the T-Max P3200 in the camera, and it was great. It was such a novelty to be able to shoot
3200
handheld.
Yeah.
And I shot it at 3200. Those pictures, they had a certain very specific grain. I think I could do something like that too.
Let me ask you this, and we could probably end on this or something, but where you and I are Fuji guys, right? So it was very easy for us to dial this stuff in and stuff. But what would you suggest for people who are not able, like who don't have cameras that have film simulations? I know they have color settings on it, but that's not it's not the same as Fuji. So like, how would you tell somebody who's got a Canon camera or a Sony camera or a Nikon camera how there
are still picture profiles that you can adapt.
There are picture profiles, but I would say they're not based, a lot of them are based on film stocks, like what we could do. Like if you wanted to do that, you would probably do it in post a little bit more, right?
Well, that's what was going to be my next breath, was going to be there are free presets, I'm sure, that you could find, that you could plug
Right.
in. You know, do they still make Silver Effects? I don't know. For Lightroom.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, they do. I just bought the new versions of them.
Those are stunning.
Yeah, they are. I agree. The trick is that with you and me or anybody who's using a Fuji camera, we can pre-visualize the shot as we're taking it.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who's going to end up doing it in post is not going to be able to pre-visualize it.
Well, then they're more like a person who actually has a film camera who can't when they're out shooting. Let's give them that. We'll give them credit for that. And then when you get it into Lightroom, then they can enjoy
or whatever program
that they're using. If it's a Luminar or what's the one I was using for layout? Affinity.
Affinity. Yeah.
So there's there are definitely some adjustments that can be made, but. They say your mileage may vary, but I'm sure there's something out there that'll get you at least part of the way there, so you can feel it.
Yeah,
what it's doing.
Okay, all right. Well, sounds good.
Okay, I just make this stuff up and hope it sticks.
We do, I know, and so do I. I've had a nice quiet cat on my table. He's totally zonked out on drugs, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's his business.
Well, yeah, I would like to sort of see both of us maybe do some stuff. Like I would like to see more of your stuff that you do around where you live.
I'll send you a few tonight then once I get settled down.
Oh, I know you will. It's like that kind of thing is to me is exciting to see that.
Are we talking about the boring stuff around the house? Or are we talking about shooting a roll of Tri-X?
Or all of the both. Above. I don't know. All of the above.
Well, that would get me out of the house, which is maybe what I need to do with me being out of practice. So
that would get you out of the house, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, let's try to get out of the house in the next couple of weeks. All right.
Let's do that. Right. Get out of this
because I don't have. Yeah, and I also don't have much time between now and the time when I have to get my class ready. So what I'm hoping is that I can learn some stuff while we're doing this podcast that I can adjust my class to, you know.
All right.
That way it's sort of like a living, I don't know, a living class that will not be so predictable, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or something. All right. All right. Well, and as I am now putting our outro into the documents, we can see where can the world find you in the world. Now you can tell us exactly where you
are. Okay, so thanks for putting the outro up, by the way, because I was going to wing it and it was not going to be pretty.
I know. No, we can't wing this stuff. Like while I'm talking and trying to drag out something, I'm copying and pasting.
Find me on the internet. Document. It's just me. I'm there. You find me. So Vero, Twitter, and Blue Sky. I'm at W Rosin Photo on Instagram, which is where I put all my stream of consciousness stuff. I'm at Ward Rosin Fine Art. Facebook, you can find me at Ward Rosin Photo, and my website where I'm selling the rodeo book still, and my zine Gaijin is at rosin.ca, ROSIN. And Mr. Antonio, where can we find you?
You can find me. I've got a Blue Sky account. I really don't use it that much. I'm almost kind of done with all this social media stuff, but you can find me at AM Rosario. That's my Blue Sky account. Instagram is at AM Rosario Photo, which I don't have a stream of consciousness. I'm actually putting more groups of pictures up there these days. It's nice little groupings. My website is amrosario.com. And I do also post a lot on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Rosario Photo. And we would love for you to subscribe to our Substack newsletter, which is you got a story coming out soon, I think.
Maybe after I do this roll of Tri-X, we'll see.
Yeah, after you do this, he's like, you should see his eyes. For the video people, you'll see, but his eyes are really, he's like, yeah, I've got something coming up. Yeah. All right. But yeah, subscribe to our Substack at streetshots.substack.com. And, there's a couple of ways if you want to support the show, which we would love. One is you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Antonio Rosario. But the other thing we'd like to do is send you to our print stores, where if you want to buy a print, you can come to my store, which is, let me just get this. It's amrosario.com/print-store. Just go there, and I got a bunch of prints there that are available. They would be printed by me and hand stamped with my new awesome stamp, the Rosario Print Company that I had made. What is it? Artistic imaging and fine prints.
Very fancy.
But if you want to buy one of my prints, that would help me pay for some of the stuff that we're doing and producing here. I will sign it and put an official stamp on the back of it for you. But you can go check out my prints at amrosario.com/print-store. And Ward, where are your prints?
You can find them at rosin.ca, rosin.ca/shop. So the books and the fine prints are there. The only reason why why there's so few fine prints is they're just the ones that I created the big TIFFs for. But you can check out my gallery, or you can check out my Instagram feed. If there's something you like in there, I can certainly put something together for you to ship off to you, and I'll be happy to do that. So let me know, and I'll be happy to. I love getting prints made.
Yeah,
it's a big day when you do a print run.
Yeah, and I also like the idea of supporting our show with people buying prints.
Yeah.
So that's a nice way to, you don't have to just give me money. Here's something for it. Here's a piece of our work. So anyway, excuse me. That's great. Well, thank you for indulging me in this video production. I
do what I can do.
We can see. Yeah. We'll see how this works out, but
you bet.
To be continued in terms of like what kind of, and if anybody has any ideas for us to do anything that's on camera, let us know. What books you want us to review, we might have, or whatnot. We're gonna give all this stuff a try. So see what it finally turns out into some new kind of visual feast for us.
Yeah,
or for them, for the viewers. Yeah. All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, and.
Always a pleasure.
In a couple of weeks.
You bet.
Yeah. And everybody have a good next couple of weeks, the rest of May, and see you later.